I wonder where a guy, an everyday Joe like myself, can find a little action.
Do I make you horny?
Me love you long time, but me so horny.
What is your major malfunction, numbnuts?
Give me some sugar, baby.
Hey guys, this is Eddie McClintock, and no, I'm not David Boreanaz, and you are listening to the Metal Hand of God podcast.
Don't worry if you don't make it out alive. We'll give you your money back. Guaranteed.
Welcome back to the Metal Hand of God podcast. I am your host, Wayne, and with me, as always, is the ever something.
Don't say lovely.
I was about
but you know,
to.
I'm not gonna disagree. I am pretty fucking lovely. I am the Rum Guy.
and today we have an incredible guest with us. He's an actor. He's a fucking musician. He is everything. Mr. Aaron Thompson, Empty Streets, Mr. Small Hands, everything, whatever you want to call you, buddy. What's happening?
Hello. I'll answer to any of the above.
All right,
I'm pretty easy.
I was about to say, man, you got a lot of names. Like,
yeah,
for yourself, yeah.
and you know, it's great. It's great. Like I have two. Like they call me Wayne or Buddy, or well, asshole is another one. But I mean, I'll answer to any of those. That's all right.
Yeah, fair. I will also answer to asshole.
Well, man, dude, thank you. Like we said earlier, thanks for coming on the show. I'm glad we finally were able to get this worked out to get you on. Super excited about having you on here, man. You, for people who don't know, you are actually, you know, you've been putting out music for what, a couple years now, right? It's been
fuck, man. I mean, I've been putting out music.
Well, I mean,
life since I was like 17.
As of Empty Streets, you know, Empty Streets.
Recently, I kind of reignited a solo project. I hate that term, but fuck it, that's just what it is. Kind of during the coronavirus shit, I've always been recording and releasing songs alone under Empty Streets. I actually started that about 10 years ago, but
oh wow,
it never was really like a quote serious project. It was kind of like a side project to the other bands I was in and stuff at the time, and this is way before my career in adult film as well. And then during coronavirus and everything, when kind of things shut down, I had a lot of time and I have a studio at home, and I was like, man, let's kick this back up and let's actually, you know, give it a little more attention and treat it more like a real thing.
Well, what was the musical catalyst for yourself? I mean,
yeah,
were you from a musical family? Was it something like that, or was it?
My dad's a preacher, so I'm from a freaking 6 nights a week in church family.
Nice.
Wow.
And I grew up in San Diego, and basically my first sort of like introduction to music and you know, the scene, if you will, was Christian punk, like MXPX and stuff like that.
Oh, no shit. That's awesome.
Yeah. So my first show ever was actually in 1997. I'm dating myself a little bit, and it was MXPX on their first tour ever. And because it was their first tour, they played at a lot of churches.
Wow.
So I drove, you know, an hour to some church and watched them play in like the rec room, and that really changed my life. I was just like, holy shit, there's like, look at this, the way these guys look at the way like this music sounds, look at these kids going, you know, I was so young. I was probably like 9 years old or 10 years old or something. I just didn't have a clue. And I was like, I want to be here, man. This is where I want to be.
Dude.
And that was it. And from then on, I was just a little punk rock kid.
Yeah, man. Like I remember, I don't remember what year this was, but I went to a church to go see Norma Jean play.
Yeah, oh, dude, those guys credit.
Dude,
Such a good man.
they played 3 shows that night because there were so many people trying to get in this little bitty old like rinky-dink little church that was having them play. It was unbelievable. I got to see them for their second show that night, and it was, dude, they were jumping off of like the stairs, and I was like, this is crazy.
It's crazy too, because in that scene, you can see bands like I grew up in San Diego, so my old terrible like Youth of Today hardcore style band would open up for POD when I was 15 at a church.
No
and
shit.
We just knew, and we just knew them as POD, like the coolest of like the Christian bands in the scene, because they were like legends in San Diego already. And this is years before they were anything on the worldwide stage,
right?
And just or like hell, Tim from As I Lay Dying used to manage my old pop punk band. Like we came up with them too, and so I got to see As I Lay Dying play at youth groups and little rec centers, and and basically anyone from San Diego who kind of came through that church scene in the late 90s, early 2000s. That was my scene.
Now, those bands that you saw coming through the scene, especially when you went to that first concert and you saw that band, you mentioned how they looked. I mean, was it I grew up around a lot of different churches and things like that.
Yeah.
But I mean, was it a little bit of a shock? You're like, wow, they're in church.
Yeah, speak to me, and let me put some context.
It was for me too.
When I grew up, first was really young. I grew up right on the Tijuana border. Like I could see the flag flying from my bedroom in San Diego. And we were in the ghetto, if you will, in the 80s. And the only thing that was played in my neighborhood was gangster rap or mariachi music. And the only thing my parents allowed me to listen to was like 50s music and gospel, because there was no cursing and nothing. So I had a very weird musical start. I listened to like NWA and like Tupac from the Kids in the Neighborhood, or mariachi music, or it was like old gospel music. And so by the time I hit, we moved to a different part of town, and for lack of a better word, it was a more white part of town. And I saw kids walking around with Green Day shirts and Nirvana shirts, and I had literally never even heard any of these bands up to that point, because my neighborhood just didn't play that kind of music, and my parents didn't allow me to listen to the radio or watch MTV. So when I first saw like the image of a punk band, I was like, oh my God, what the hell is this? And I also thought, this is the coolest shit I've ever seen. Where have I been?
Would it be safe to say? Oh, I'm sorry, Wayne.
No,
I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No, go ahead, brother.
No, I was going to say, would it be safe to say that? I'm probably way off on this. I don't know, but please correct me if I'm wrong. Would it be safe to say that you saw that scene and it opens you up, and it kind of was maybe a little bit of an internal rebellion against what you were living at the time, or was I completely off on that?
No, I mean, obviously when you're young and you see cool rebellion, I mean, it's very attractive, and hell yeah, I was on board. Fuck my dad. Let's let me get some studs in my jacket and put an earring through my or a safety pin through my ear. The classic punk stuff. But also, what more important for me, I have Tourette's. I was born with it, and when I was young, I had a lot of tics and twitches and eccentricities, and kids kind of thought I was weird and picked on me a lot. And the punk scene was the first time I ever saw other, quote, like weirdos that were cool.
I gotcha.
And for me, it was like, holy shit, this is a place where I don't have to hide my weirdness. If anything, let's ramp it up. Let's be ourselves, like, to the max. And not only is that okay, but like it's celebrated here, and that was what was so attractive to me, as well as obviously the sounds and the music, just the scene itself and the acceptance for being a weirdo. I loved.
Yeah, I kind of grew up in that scene as well, but not the church scene, but more of the youth of today kind of guys. I mean, that's where I was at. Nice. I was the New York hardcore kid, like I grew up in New Orleans area, but a friend of mine was from New York, and he brought me all this stuff. He's like, dude, you got to check this band out. I was just getting into, like, I think my first cassettes ever in my life, or there was a compilation record called The Kings of Rap. It was like Run DMC, the Fat Boys, and like I
Nice.
forget who else was on it. You know, like all the old school guys. And
All
then
that first wave classic
yeah,
stuff.
and then my next one was Ride the Lightning by Metallica, and then I bought Minor Threats, Out of Step. You know, so it's so those were the three records I was listening to the most, besides the stuff that I was getting into with my parents. You know, like the Beatles and the Stones and the Sabbath and you know all that stuff. Because they were the hippie guys, and then my friend just dropped this stuff on me. He's like, "Look, you got to listen to this." And I was like, holy shit, this is like a whole new world to me. So like I started honing myself into those guys and was just like, wow, that punk scene just, you know, called to me.
Yeah.
From that punk scene that you were embracing and everything to today, the sounds you have that I've at least experienced so far, it is, I don't want to say it's a complete departure from that scene, but it's definitely a unique sound that
it's dark.
It's dark. Yeah. I mean,
Cool,
it's got a dark feel to it. It's, it really reminds me, well, not to classify you in anything like this, to compare you to anything, but I get things like, oh God, you know, like old, like that feel of like Depeche Mode, but very modern and things like that, which is very, very cool. I really dig it.
Thank you.
And are you like self-taught on the instruments? I mean, is that a thing for you?
Yeah. So basically, I mean, like most good musicians, I'd like to think I've come a long way since I was 15. You know, in the punk scene, both in my taste and just kind of the way I do things. But I kind of always used punk as a foundation in the way I approach things, like the DIY-ness of things. It doesn't matter if I'm super perfectly amazing at playing a keyboard. Fuck it. Like, let's, you know, we can do this anyway. And, you know, just sort of the mentality I've kept with me has always kind of been punk. But fast forward, you know, as I got older, you know, high school, college, and kind of age, and was becoming a better musician. You know, I learned how to play more than just power chords. I learned actually how I was a singer in a band, and then, you know, once I saw a video of myself and how bad it was, I went to a vocal coach for 2 years when I was like 19, and you know, I worked 2 extra jobs to pay for it because I just wanted to take it seriously. And anyway, so as I grew in age and just everything, my musical sort of palette expanded. And one of the things that I discovered early on was a love for, you know, the industrial, the new wave, the 80s goth stuff. I had a sucker. I had a thing for goth girls, so I used to date a lot of goth girls, and they would not only take me out to some of the goth clubs, like Sabat in San Diego was the legendary one. My girlfriends would you know, be playing this style of music all the time, and even though I wasn't really in that scene, I was like really drawn to it. And so I've been listening to bands like Depeche Mode, VNV Nation. VNV Nation is probably my favorite band of all of that kind of dark, you know, synth, whatever you want to call it. Sisters of Mercy, all that kind of stuff I've been listening to since I was probably, you know, 19 or 20. And even though I never really sort of adopted that look per se, like for myself, like I never really dressed goth or anything, I've always had a love for that music, and it's very easy to make synth records alone. You don't really need a band to do it, so that also helps.
Sisters of Mercy was one of the bands that influenced me in music quite a bit.
Really? Yeah, that's cool.
I love that band.
And they all, and all those guys have low voices, and as a singer for me, I have a low voice, so I'm always drawn to singers with low voices.
And one of the songs that you have out that I really, really dig, and I've listened to quite a few, but I really like "Save Me." Tell me about that.
That was one of the first songs, if not the first song written for that EP, which is called Demons, and I released that last summer. I mean, most of my songs, if you haven't gleaned anything yet, they're not happy. They're not upbeat.
No, they're not.
They're not about girls. They're not fucking love songs. At least not, you know, the traditional sense. Most of my songs for me are very it's like therapy. I write them very personally. They're actually not really for anyone. It's just weird that I put them out for the world to hear. They're me struggling with my own inner demons, with my religious upbringing, conflicts with my father disowning me, even conflicts with my career in adult film. That doesn't come without some struggles and some sort of internal problems, and just also my constant sort of disdain for the world around me, yet I think it's so beautiful all at the same time. So that's why I have these dark, sad songs, but they're kind of still melodic and almost pop songs, just kind of in this really gloom and doom package.
Well, that's an amazing way to put it, though. It's the world around is kind of a place that I could see where you'd have a lot of I don't know, disdain
for it, you know.
And just, it's such a as again, I hate to sound like an old fucking man, but as I get a little older and I've lived so much, from my time touring in bands before I was ever even in porn to the last 7 years I've been filming adult films for almost every single day.
Well, you've lived like 2 lifetimes.
Yeah,
I mean,
man.
truly, when it comes to experience, I mean,
yeah,
what you grew up with to where you are now.
Yeah,
I mean,
and also
people. Yeah,
and also coming just from pretty humble beginnings. I wouldn't say we were poor, but pretty close to it. And now I do okay. And it's one of those things where I see so much beauty and like just grotesqueness at the same time, and it's almost addicting because you can't turn away, like a car wreck. Like this life is so disgusting and so gross and so fucked up in every possible way, but at the same time there's so much beauty around.
Yeah, there's beauty in a state of decay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I was something caught in my goddamn throat.
Yeah, just some light conversation here.
Yeah.
You jump in with your choke. Are you dying? Are you okay?
I'm good. I'm sorry. I had to take a swig of.
Yeah, somebody get this man in dark and stormy.
Oh yeah, I need one of those. Man. I really just to get into that, I really dig your song "Demons." By the way, I listened to it a few times this past week, and I really enjoyed that. But I did see that you did a collaboration with Ben Wyman.
Yeah,
dude,
that was fun.
That's fucking incredible. Like Dillinger's one of my all-time favorite bands, and
legends.
Yeah,
legends.
Dude. Like, and you can't, that guy is just a musical mastermind. Like that dude is incredible.
Yeah, there's only one Ben Wyman.
I agree, man. But dude, that was really cool. I mean,
all right, so basically, my wife, Joanna Angel, who's also a legend in adult film, among a billion other things, she is a New Jersey hardcore girl. That's her scene.
Nice.
So she came up we're about the same age as Ben, and she came up in that scene with him. So she's kind of known him loosely for forever, and they've kept in touch celebrity style over the years. And at some point, she was asking him a couple questions about empty streets, like just business type stuff, like what do you think about this or that, and he started listening to my music, and he actually wanted to kind of help loosely manage me, just as a buddy, because he thought the record was good, and he was kind of a fan.
That's cool.
So it's pretty cool. Ben Wyman was a fan of Empty Streets.
Yeah, no shit.
We started working together. And anyway, at some point, he was scoring a movie, and he's like, "Hey, man, I have this really weird idea. If you tell me to fuck off, that's fine. But I need you to like listen to the song and write vocals for it. But it's a score, it's a soundtrack, so like it can't be like regular. Like you can't have like words really or like a chorus."
Right.
And I was like, "What?" I was like, "What the fuck?" Okay, but it was a really good challenge. So I ended up singing like 7-part harmonies that were just oohs and ahs, and then putting them through vocoders and just really weird, just strange, ethereal like vocal sounds and harmonies to his chaotic, like just Dillinger meets like a Western, like soundtrack score. And it came out pretty awesome. And then we released it, and all the proceeds go to the Party Smasher Animal Sanctuary for charity.
That's cool. That's very, very cool.
Yeah. Very, very cool.
Yeah, I did.
Yeah.
I mean, it's got such an interesting sound to it.
It
I
does.
listened to it and I was like, I didn't even know it was part of a movie thing or a movie.
Does it
score,
make
but
more sense now that you know that? Because
Yes.
it is.
Yes.
I sat here and went, it sounds like this should be in a movie. What is this?
Yeah. Well, you know what? It might be.
I did.
It's so cool, and I dig the name Fracas. I mean, that's just very cool. Like it's like a quarrel or something, isn't it? Like
yeah, that's exactly what it is. And the quarrel was me and Ben fighting because I was like, this is stupid. I don't want to do it. And he's like, fucking come on, man. Like, just get on board with this.
Just shut up and do it, dude. God damn.
Yeah. Well, at some point I was like, you know what? Ben Wyman is asking me to collaborate. What the hell am I doing? Like, let's just roll up our sleeves.
Yeah. The first thing I would have said was yes, and then say, what are we doing?
I mean, to be fair, I said yes without hesitation, but I had a lot of questions.
Right. Man, I did recently. A friend of ours does a noise project called Shitload out here, and it's just him, and he just does a bunch of racket, But he was like, he's been trying to get guest vocals on all his stuff. So he did one called I think it's called The Songs with Friends or something like that. Mm-hmm. And he asked me to do one. So I understand you're listening to something and you can't really put vocals to it, but you kind of got to sit there and go, all right, so he wants me to put something to this.
But it actually sounded good, Wayne.
I appreciate
it. Had an interesting quality to it because it sounds weird, but I mean, like it does, that type of stuff also has a very kind of ethereal movie quality to it. Yeah. So it's very interesting not to have a song without words, but it has words.
Yeah, totally. And it was, at the end of the day, I mean, it was fun. Once I got into the challenge of it, and it was one of those things where like I could really just go batshit weird because this isn't like a radio single, right? Who cares? Get as weird as we want to be.
Yeah, what I'll do is I'll send you what I did, and I'll let you be the judge of that.
Okay, cool, deal.
So tell us about this new album that you've got coming out.
Yeah. So I'm not one to just sit around.
Apparently,
I like to stay busy. So I've got another record about to it'll drop in June called Age of Regret. And this time around, I'm working with Jaime, who plays in a band called Pierce the Veil. You guys might know.
Oh, yeah, sure do.
He's, again, another San Diego buddy. You see, I stay loyal to the scene. I've known him for years. And my old pop punk band used to open up for Pierce the Veil when they were called, they used to be called Early Times, like the whiskey.
My wife would fucking go insane if she knew anything about you and Pierce the Veil. That's one of her, that's one of her all-time favorite bands. Yeah,
they're Vic and all those guys. I've got some good stories. We've had many good times together. But anyway, the last record, Fun Factoid, was mixed by Sean O'Donnell, who played bass for Yellow Card for a while. And while I do love it, I kind of wanted to up the sort of electronic industrial production side of things. And the last record, I kind of approached more like a rock record, just with synths instead of guitars, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Jaime is a really good electronic music producer, like that. I don't know if people know that or not, but he's fantastic. And so he's kind of helping me a little bit on the production end. And we've, in the era of COVID, we've been making this whole record remotely, just Dropboxing each other the files, getting on Zoom calls. I guess it's the way of the world now.
Jeez. It is, dude. That's definitely the way the world is.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's the next record, and we got 2 songs left to go, and it's almost done. And the first single just dropped a few weeks ago, and it's the same title, called Age of Regret, and the video premiered on Loudwire back a few weeks ago.
That's fucking great.
Now, is this? Dude. I'm sorry, Wayne.
Oh, I was just telling that was great. That's awesome.
It is, and I was wondering, is the what's the difference with this album when it comes to message wise? I mean, do you write songs more? Is it per song, or is there a theme to is there a method to your madness? Is what I'm trying to get at.
Yes and no. There's never. I do not write concept albums or shit like that. For that's not everything I write is literally like I hate to use the word like diary. Like I don't keep a fucking diary, but you're reading it by listening to these lyrics more or less.
Gotcha.
So you're actually just watching a timeline of where I am in my life, really. If you kind of do it like that, I just write songs. The melodies and lyrics usually come to me first, and when shit pops into my head, it just does, and then I stop what I'm doing and I sing it into my phone or I write it down or whatever. And so you're just basically seeing moments of the last year of my life, and unfortunately I like to show you all the worst moments and the dark places. So there's not really a theme other than this record. The sad songs are sadder. The angry songs are way fucking angrier. It's more of everything. It's amplified. It's the last record, but amplified on a higher level.
Wow. That's something to look forward to then. You said this is going to drop sometime in June?
Yep. Yeah, I got 2 songs left to finish up, and then I've actually got a really cool collaboration coming out this spring with an industrial producer. She goes by Ophelia.
Nice.
And she's done a lot of like DJing in the like LA goth scene and stuff. And we're releasing some songs that are even more leaning towards that just industrial club sound with dissonant vocals and just really, really even like less kind of like rock pop formatted, which is what Empty Streets basically is.
Yeah, very cool, very, very cool.
So I stay busy, man. I stay busy.
Yeah, dude, you I don't know how the fuck you keep up with all this shit.
And I film about 20 adult movies a month.
Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. I do not rest.
A month?
Yeah, that's about the average. Sometimes more.
Holy
so about 20,
shit!
About 20 days.
Resting isn't the problem; it's walking.
Hey, you gotta condition yourself, like an athlete for this marathon.
That's right. Well, do you see? Is it? Have these 2 careers that you have they in any way, in any essence, creativity wise, music wise, have they ever crossed? Have these 2 sides of you ever crossed paths on one project?
Oh yeah. I mean, not. I on purpose, I very consciously try to keep Empty Streets separate from the world of adult because I want it to be its own thing, to have its own space, and also I've found that I don't want to cheapen it by it becoming like porno music, for lack of a better word. You know what I mean? Like
oh, yeah, I get you.
But that being said, my musical sort of skills and my history of touring and everything has served me very well in adult, because anytime they have a role that the guy needs to know how to sing or play guitar or is a dude in a band, guess who gets that role, man? It's all me, baby. And so I cannot tell you how many times on the call sheet it says, can you bring your guitar and your amp to set? Like there's this one part where you're sitting in your room playing,
That's fucking great.
Yep. So I've done probably, 20, 30 movies where I'm playing guitar or keyboards or singing something stupid or yeah.
That's fucking great. Dude,
that's very, very cool.
All right. So I got to ask the question, man. How the fuck did you end up getting into that industry?
My wife.
Really? Okay. All right.
Yeah. So Joanna Angel, who we've been together, God, almost 10 years. Time flies.
Nice.
And we've been married for 4. When I met her, I was playing in a pop punk band called Phoenix TX. Maybe you've heard of them. They were kind of big in the MCA Drive-Thru Records days.
Yeah.
Anyway, and I was bartending in San Diego, and I owned a merch company, and we made merchandise for Face to Face and Dashboard Confessional.
No shit. That's cool.
So I've lived about 6 lives. So.
Yeah, really, man. God damn.
So anyway, and we did merchandise for my wife's company, and it was called Burning Angel. It's like the first like tattoo porn company like ever, basically, like Suicide Girls but with hardcore.
I kind of remember that name.
Yeah, it's still around. But yeah. And so anyway, we were making T-shirts and stuff that said like blowjob and like anal and like just hilarious merch for her.
Yeah, sure.
And then I got set up on a blind date with her, and the rest is kind of history. And then after a couple of years of dating back and forth between San Diego and LA, I moved in with her in Los Angeles, and the bands I was playing in kind of fizzled out. And I kind of was in like an interim period. And that's when she was like, why don't you join the family business? Jump in front of the camera, buddy, take your pants off. And that's when I started doing porn. It was basically my wife made me.
That's funny.
Was that a weird moment for you?
That's funny.
You know, I mean,
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
It was super weird.
I was like, because I would think it'd be like, all right, well, okay, weird. I feel weird now.
Basically, what I did not want to do it. When she asked if I wanted to, I said no, because I never had any aspirations of like being a porn star.
Right.
I just that in my mind, like I do music, Joanna does porn. That's awesome. That's like a rock and roll marriage made in heaven.
There it is.
But I never envisioned myself in front of the camera for porn. Not because I didn't and don't love women and sex and threesomes and all the fun stuff, but I had been for 2 years of dating her, I would go hang out on set and just watch or hang out. I'd help out. I would do paperwork. I'd make the girls tacos sometimes for lunch and shit. And what I got to do was witness the life of a male performer and watch them. And I would watch them at their best. I would watch them at their worst. And holy shit, is it a tough job to do, man. It is a very, very like insanely difficult job on so many levels to do good and do consistently. And so I was like, no, I don't need that pressure. I'm okay. And then my wife said, well, since this is the family business and I own the movie studio, if you can do this, it's free labor I'm getting, because I'm not going to pay your ass to have sex with girls. You're going to do it because you love me. And you're going to help save me money. So it was a flat out like a business decision. My wife had me learn how to do porn so I could do it for free for her company and save money.
She's like, that is a savvy businesswoman, right?
Yeah,
she is a savage businesswoman. Let me tell you.
She's like, bitch, get out there and do this now.
Yeah.
I need to save money.
And so that's really how it all started. And that was, I started performing like 6 or 7 years ago now. Yeah.
Well,
wow,
we've
man.
talked to a few people in the industry before, and I do have to say, and they all say the same thing you have. It is more complicated than people give it credit for.
It's insanely more complicated than people really understand. But that's kind of the point. Like, I never mind, telling people kind of the reality of it. But like, I like leaving a bit of fantasy. I think fans and viewers should think that it's kind of effortless and like a mystery of how it gets done and magical. Sure. But at the same time, I'll explain to you some schematics.
You're just not going to get up and go, hey, I'm going to do this today. It's not going to happen.
Yeah. No, definitely not. And a lot of guys think just because, I'm really good in bed at home with my girl with the lights off on a comfortable bed.
Yeah.
Like, okay, guy, cool. But that doesn't mean you can walk into a room with 15 people, climb up on a cement kitchen counter that is uncomfortable as fuck in a stupid ass outfit that you feel dumb in, with 15 people in the room. And when that bell rings like an MMA fighter, ding, 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 it's your time. All eyes on you. You better go. And then on the flip side of ding, 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 when it's time to wrap it up, you better wrap it up and not take all day. There's a lot.
Yeah, I'm sure there is, man. You can't, and there's some aspects of it. You just, things that happen or that you just, I'm sure there's, like in any movie, there's probably bloopers at times.
Oh God, yeah, yeah. Good time. Oh, I have quite a good blooper reel.
That is hysterical.
I mean, it's got to be a lot of pressure, man. I mean, it's just all the way around. I mean, it does. I mean, you got all these fucking people staring at you, like you said. Yeah. You're in a strange place.
Well, you could be great at talking, but to get up and give a speech to an auditorium full of people is very difficult.
Well, that's what I said before to a lot of people too. Because every time everybody wanted me to go and do, come on, man, come do karaoke. Look, I've been in a band for fucking 15, 20 years. It's a big difference for me to get up there and sing karaoke, whereas I'm up there with a band. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it's a different feel.
Yeah, but your journey is really good, dude.
I know. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Yeah.
See, that was a low key. He was fishing for that. They're gonna swoop in with the journey compliment.
Should we go? No, it's like. But
this is great, man. I mean, what's going on with the album when it drops in June? Is this year going to be different for you when it comes to being out? I mean,
yes,
playing out. I mean, are there gigs available?
I mean, COVID, man. What am I? Right? When I dropped Demons last year, my plan was to play shows immediately and start touring as soon as I could. Because one nice thing about porn, I'm contracted with Brazzers, which is the biggest company in the world.
Nice.
They have basically given me free reign to schedule-wise to do anything I want. So I can literally go tour for 2 months, come home, shoot a bunch of movies, go on the. I can do anything I want. So I'm ready to rock, and I was. And then COVID hit, and then I had to change a lot of plans. So I hope to be touring the second it's safe and it makes sense to.
Yeah, well, it looks like, honestly, it looks like things are starting to open up. Out here in New Orleans area, we're starting to open up a little more.
Nice.
I know for a fact that the lunatics, I love you guys, but y'all lunatics in Mississippi and in Texas have both dropped their mask mandates and opened up everything. So we will see where
I hope so.
where the numbers go.
Again, and in a way, it's kind of cool because at this point, then I'll have 2 EPs out, and that's a lot more, material to play.
Yeah, you'll have a lot more stuff to tour on.
Yeah, and I also I can't say who yet, but I've got some labels giving me options.
Nice.
So
I
have a strong feeling that Age of Regret will be released on a label, a very cool label that you've heard of, that I'm in talks with right now.
Hell yeah,
and,
dude!
Very cool.
And if anyone is listening from a different label, you better get at me quick because
That's right.
It ain't final yet, but it's getting closer.
Nah, dude,
Get
that's
this
fucking
guy
cool.
on contract right now because his stuff is awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna. I have a feeling, man, that towards the end of next year, you're gonna see a huge turnaround, buddy. Because with all the shit reopening and stuff like that, you'll be able to do your tour and you'll be able to get in front of people. And that's a big thing. You got to get in front of those people.
What's the dream gig for you?
I kind of have it, don't I?
Well, I mean, like, well, yeah, you do, but I mean, performing like in an area like you've got your songs,
like your dream concert.
That dream concert, where would it be? What would you do?
Man, if we're talking venues,
let's say venue and lineup.
Okay. If I'm going small, there's a place in San Diego called the Casbah, which is kind of like the CBGBs of San Diego.
Nice,
legendary club. All my old bands used to play there. I've sold it out many times. It's one of my favorite venues in the world. I would probably play the Casbah. If this is like some Dead or Alive shit, fuck, I'd open up for like Depeche Mode, GNV Nation, and Sisters of Mercy. Maybe Nick Cave if he wants to jump on the bill.
Hell yeah.
That'd be cool.
Or if we're going more current, I keep it loyal to San Diego. I'd probably do a show with my buddies Rafa and Dave in Prayers. Because those guys are from the San Diego punk scene too, and we all came up together.
Nice.
Oh, cool. I'll have to check them out.
Yeah, they do a really cool. They call it Cholo Goth. Rafa's an ex-gang member, and they're both Mexican, and they do like industrial, like synth-based, like brutal, like stripped down in like dark goth wave, but with like him like doing like this really creepy yelp. That's
cool.
And it's bad. It's super badass, super dark, super moody, and like it feels very of the now, but with nods to like a lot of the '80s goth stuff.
One of my old drummers, I love him to death. His name's Dave. We always talked about he wanted to do a metal mariachi band. He's like, dude, let's do a mariachi band and do it metal. I was like, all right, I'm in, dude. We just got to figure out how to do it. He's just like, yeah.
I want to see the outfits for that because you got to have sweet outfits,
right?
Well, they've got to be leather sombreros with studs.
Yeah,
get like Rob Halford to be stylist.
Yes.
But
you have to have like all the little tassels, the tails that hang down off of it and shit, dude.
Can I join?
Fuck yeah, 100%.
So good,
good. You've got some. You've got your stuff going on. You've got but within your movie aspect in your filming career, have you ever thought sitting around going, you know what? What about? I think you. I mean, you've got the look, you've got the voice. You could jump into any genre film you really wanted to.
I agree.
That ever come up?
Yeah, I mean, I already have done some stuff. Bella Thorne directed me in a movie 2 years ago.
Okay.
I've
that's
done
cool.
little guest stints on some like TV shows and stuff. I would love to do more. One thing that's kind of unfortunate is the adult industry still gets some stigma from like Hollywood and that
That's
side
ridiculous.
of things. It's not nearly as bad as what I've heard it used to be, but I think a lot of people in mainstream entertainment don't realize how fucking talented a lot of people in adult are, because you have to be kind of a unicorn to be a star in adult, because it's so weird and it takes so many interesting skills that I know a lot of, not just musicians either. I know people who have like doctorate degrees who are porn stars. I know ex-Marines who are porn stars. Like there are some really varied, clever, brilliant people in adult. And again, there's some killer actors and actresses. Like I just think it gets a little overlooked sometimes.
Yeah, that's the sad thing about that, man. Is like, it's like one of those industries that are looked down upon.
And I don't even think it's that it's looked down upon in this sense. It's just that they don't take us as serious as entertainers. And it's like, and it's funny because actually fucking Mr. Hollywood actor, I could read a 40-page script and I can learn it in one day, just like you, and I can do a pretty good job of it. But guess what? When I pull down my pants, my dick is hard, and then I can fuck for an hour on camera. Can you do that? No, so that's why I kind of laugh at the whole thing. Like if I don't care, like I know my talents, I know my worth, and I know how talented a lot of my coworkers in adult are. If the rest of the entertainment wants to kind of not notice that, then again, keep it punk, keep it DIY. I do what I'm doing now. My Empty Street stuff is just me up to this point. I don't have a label. I don't have any people doing it. I created this myself because I always believe that if someone doesn't let you into the party, fucking slip in through the window, find a way.
Hell yeah. Do it your own way, man. Fuck
yeah.
it.
And that also makes you feel cooler when you get results, like I have complete control over everything that I do musically and on the other side, and fuck, isn't that what every artist wants? Complete fucking control.
Exactly.
Absolutely. And then there's that problem too when you want to be signed by that big artist or that big label.
Mm-hmm.
At times you do lose a little bit of that control.
This is I'm gonna share a life hack for whoever wants to listen. If you can be financially like okay, whatever that is for your lifestyle, for you,
right,
it's a lot easier to do whatever the fuck you want, and people can't tell you shit. So I have found that because porn has allowed me financial freedom, I don't need to entertain anything from a label or from just anyone that regarding my music or life for that matter.
Yeah.
No one can tell me shit. I don't know how else to say it.
Well, it's like
and I don't mean that in a braggy, like egotistical way. I just mean like I want to share that, like, look, I figured out a way, like, okay, like I do this. I have this adult career, and it has so many good things. And one of them is it makes pretty good money. So when a label comes around, I don't need their money. Isn't something that's like tantalizing to me.
You don't need to compromise.
I don't need to play the game as much because I'm fine either way.
Right. You're just talking about distribution and stuff like that. Get it further out because they have
right.
They have bigger reach.
And again, like in that way, I work with people because I want to work with them, because I
want,
not because you have to. Not because I'm beholden to them for $1 or amount or what the fuck ever,
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like the hip hop artist that's blowing up out there, Tom McDonald. He does all that shit by himself.
Yeah,
it's all him. Him and his girlfriend. No one else does it, and he's been #1 in the fucking charts for like the last month. So, dude, kill it. Just do it yourself, blow it up, man. And like I said, if the right label knocks on the door and says, "Hey, we'll give you a huge distro, we'll put you everywhere." Okay, fuck it, I'll do it.
And you keep all control. That's the way to go for sure.
Yeah. The label I've been talking to right now is very, very cool and very iconic, and you know, they get it. They get what I'm doing. So it's nice to be able to just sort of lay it all out there without having to worry about anything else, you know.
Right.
Well, here's my next question for you.
Mm-hmm.
If your world changed again, if the world changed again for you, and they said you got the contract, you got the sign, they're like, yes, but we need you to do all this, but it's going to take away from one side of it. Or are you prepared to do one thing more than the other when it comes to, like, are you prepared to go all in on music?
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm a lifer, man. I mean, I've been making music since I was 15 and playing shows since I was 17. And I at this point, again, I don't make, like, quote, money off music. I
Right.
make money in other ways. So I'm just doing this because it's what I love to do. And it's also, I'm punk first before I'm a porn guy. I'm a punk rock dude. That's like my identity. That's who I am. And if I'm making like synthwave music, if I'm making hardcore music, if I'm freaking in a polka band, like ultimately, like, for me to be true to myself is I'm Aaron, the punk rock guy. Like, that's my identity. That's the scene I love. And so I'm going to always, like, stay to that. And if life opens up where music gets so busy where it's all I do, hell yeah, I'm all about it. But I'm just all about the adventure and the journey, you know, like if that doesn't happen, that's fine too, because I'm still having a great time. I'm still releasing stuff. I'm very lucky and fortunate to have a huge fan base already that is very nice and likes what I do musically. Yeah, that's you know, I'm glad they don't like just my wiener. There you go.
Can I get on the polka band thing? I think that's the way to go.
I was going to agree with that.
I could never figure out that backbeat they always play. Like, the rhythm is so strange to me.
And then when you get into the colas, they're even faster. It's like the speed metal of polkas. It's crazy.
Yeah, and let's not start on the fashion.
Well, you can bring that to another level. I think.
Yeah.
Right,
We'll modern. Rob Halford, where are you?
We need your help over here, sir.
Yeah,
good sir. Come on.
We're gonna put Rob on salary for all
for every design is a Rob Halford original.
I would love it. I'd be in on it.
God, fucking Rob Halford. You know, that is one man that is incredible live. I don't know if you ever got a chance to see him play.
Yes, dude. I got to see him once at a taping of the VH1 like Rock Honors show.
Yeah.
I was in Vegas, and it was the year that Queen played with fucking who's the bad company guy? Paul Rogers.
Yeah.
Paul Rogers? He was fronting. Foo Fighters were there, and Judas Priest played, and Rob came out on a motorcycle on Harley with all this fringe, and it was great.
I've gotten to see Halford play twice. I saw him once where he did his thing called Halfred, which he would play like all of his stuff from Priest to Two to Fight. He did a bunch of shit.
Oh, cool!
Very, very cool. He actually opened the show for it was Halford, Queensryche, and Iron Maiden, and
that's a dope show.
Yes, sir. It was very good. It was like the mid or late 90s, I think it was. And then I got to see him recently, with last couple years, as Priest over in Mississippi. Man, that was so good. He still got it, man. After all these fucking years.
Still got it. We used to see him in because he lives in San Diego, or at least he did. I don't know if he still does. And I lived in the same neighborhood as him for a while, so we'd see him out at brunch sometimes on Saturdays.
That's so weird. You walk out and it's like
Rob Halford.
Well, and what's cool is when he's out, like, not being super Rob Halford, he dresses very, very low key, like just a hooded like a hoodie and a jeans, and you almost would walk right by him and not even know it was him.
So I kind of suspected he'd be more of a chinos with the sweater tied around the neck guy.
Nah, he's pretty San Diego casual. At least I probably only saw him once or twice. But
it'd be funny if he's like, there's like a little setup like a buffet, and says, "Hello, Mr. Halford, what'd you have?" I got the pancakes. I want the pancakes.
Dude, if I was his waiter, I'd be like, just order everything. I'll pay for it. I just want to hear you sing.
Yeah, for real. Oh my god.
You just look at the waiter and go something weird like, "I'll have a mimosa."
I want a God damn it! I can't do it. I can't do it. It's so funny. Holy shit! But man,
That's awesome,
man. So all right. So tell all these people in the universe out here where they can find your music, where they can find you, and if they want to, check out all
the
your
URLs.
stuff.
Yeah, absolutely. So my current EP Demons is out now on all streaming platforms. So if you just type in Empty Streets Demons into Spotify, Apple Music, Deezer, Tidal, whatever the hell you listen to music on. And my music video for Age of Regret just dropped a couple weeks ago, and that's on YouTube on my official channel. So if you just, again, type in Empty Streets, Age of Regret, you'll find it. And you can follow me on Instagram, and that is my porn name at the small hands _, and it's a verified account. And the only reason I say that is because there are many imposter accounts of dudes trying to be me, trying to get laid. So don't follow one of the many imposter small hands accounts. Follow the real one. That's at the small hands _.
That's an ironic name, correct?
I was gonna say I have to ask, man. What?
Yeah, it's a stupid porn name. Basically, when I first started, I did not think I would have the illustrious career that I currently have. I thought this would kind of just be a funny thing I did on the weekends. So I did not put much thought into my name. And also, I have small hands and small feet. I only wear like a size 8.5 shoe. And most people think that means you also have a small dick, and I don't. So I just thought it was a funny way to set the bar low and pleasantly surprise. Had I known I'd be this popular, I would have probably thought of something cool.
Hey, man, it's all right. That's good. It's a good one. It goes well.
Hey, you got to own it.
Fuck yeah,
That's
dude.
right.
That's what I'm talking about. Well, Aaron, man, look, it was really, really awesome of you to come out on the show. We got to have you back on.
Absolutely.
I mean, we'd love to have you, come back on.
I want to
and
hear
promote some
about
more stuff.
as soon as it kicks off. I want to know about how the album's going. I want to know about concerts.
Yeah.
If anything, we'd love to put the stuff up on our webpage.
Yeah,
and
man,
just
in a
pump it
heartbeat.
out and let people know it's happening.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome. Appreciate the support.
For sure, man. But again, I was your host, Wayne.
And I'm the Rum Guy.
And as always, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, to keep it metal!
Adieu, parting with such sweet sorrow.
Go ahead and run. Run home and cry to mama. Okay then. That's it.
Get the fuck